Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Buster Show. We have a very special guest today. One of the world's largest, if not the world's largest, Houston Astros fan.
Man.
DJ, producer, Chase B. Chase B, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, neighbor. What's going on?
We're chilling. First and foremost,
Yeah.
how do you feel about your Houston Astros right now?
I'm not going to lie. I would come up here and be like, yo, like, I'm still confident in it. But yesterday definitely made me a little nervous. Like, it's all, it's natural. You're not supposed to lose game one at home and shit like that. But I think we'll be all right. We've been here before. The series with the Dodgers went to 7. So
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure we lost game one of that, too. I gotta look, but pretty sure we
Maybe.
lost game one. Yeah.
For those listening, this comes out next Tuesday as of recording it. So
Okay.
we might already know the winner.
I might be, yeah. It could be. So by then it would be what, like 4 games under? Or
Game
something like
4 or 5.
that? Yeah. All right. So we'll see.
We shall see. More importantly,
Yeah.
how are you feeling about your fantasy basketball team?
I feel good, man. So I got Siakam in the second round, and he gave me like 79 points last night. He had like, he's on pace to be MVP
Ridiculous.
right now. That's what I keep saying. He's on pace to be MVP of the league. That's all I can say.
So Chase and I are in the same. I joined their fantasy basketball league this year.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with my team right now.
All right. Well, who did you have anybody last night? And either.
Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody.
Oh, so you haven't seen
But
anything yet. All
I
right.
had a good trade that went through yesterday.
Yeah, I heard fucking Adele, man. Yeah.
I acquired Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So I now have the 12th, 13th, and 14th overall picks.
Because you had the back-to-back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the last pick, which was the first pick in a snake draft.
Right.
So I got Andre Drummond.
Uh-huh.
I got Jimmy Butler, and I got Kyrie Irving.
Right.
As the top 3.
So Kyrie's tonight against the Timberwolves.
Tonight. Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I have Dame tonight. I have a lot of people tonight, but Dame he's my first pick, so I'm trying to see what he got going on.
Who do you think is going to be the best in the league this year, and who do you think is going to be the worst in the league?
As far as what? In our
Teams,
yeah.
Oh,
NBA
fantasy.
teams.
No, in our fantasy.
In our fantasy, I think Adele's gonna be the worst, just because he makes too many weird ass moves. And the best, I think I'm gonna be the fucking best. Obviously, I like my team a lot.
I love the confidence.
I got some moves to make, but for the most part, I like my team.
Now, how do you feel about your NBA team?
Oh, the Rockets, man, they're interesting. Preseason was a little bit different from what I expected and shit, just as far as James and Russ moving the ball, but I think when they gel and click and everything, it'll be just fine. So I'm excited. They don't play until tomorrow though. So.
Right. I've heard a lot of people saying that they don't think that James Harden and Russell Westbrook are going to work together because they both require so many shots on offense, and people say they have a lot of ego. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
My thing with that is just like I feel like these two, along with everybody else on the team, have been playing basketball literally their entire lives. So it's not like you just forget how to pass or forget how to play off the ball when you get to a certain level in your career. Like I feel like they're both MVPs for a reason. Like they're smart basketball players that will figure it out. So obviously, I'm not saying James won't average 36 again, but like if he wants to shave some points off of his, PPG total, whatever, I feel like, and share the ball with Russ, I feel like it'll be all right. So we'll see. I'm sure by the middle of the season they'll gel and figure everything out.
And they played together too in Oklahoma City.
And yeah, exactly. Like and then they're boys and all that type of shit. The chemistry's there. I like Tyson Chandler a lot. I think we needed that, like a veteran big man. Yeah. I like that. Just little shit like that. I think the Rockets are like in a really good space.
The Rockets are in a great space. Coming from a Knicks fan,
we
have absolutely nothing going for us.
So my thing is that I think the Knicks can take the AFC in the East. That's just me.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But that's my totally blinded,
the
bias opinion.
Yeah. I don't like the Knicks roster, but I'm looking at it like, yo, this is definitely like a thing. They have like 10 pieces that are able to get this to work.
We have 12 physically able bodies.
Yeah, right.
How do those come together?
We'll see.
We'll find out.
It's the East, man. Anything goes in the fucking East. Literally anything goes in the East.
Who are your top 5 players in the NBA right now?
Top 5 in the NBA without KD. Does he count?
Let's say no KD since he's out for the season.
He's out for the season. I'm gonna say James first. LeBron, AD, Giannis. That's 4, right? And number 5, who am I missing?
Kawhi.
Perhaps. Kawhi. Yeah. After that postseason shit he just did, I'm going to go Kawhi. I feel like that's everybody's top 5. I don't know who else you would like.
For the most part. Yeah, there's order switching, obviously.
Yeah.
Some people would put like the past MVP on there. Did you say Steph in there, though?
I didn't put Steph in there. No, I didn't put Steph. So, yeah, I said, James. A lot of people would switch James and Steph, I feel like.
Right. Steph's my pick for MVP this year.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I don't know, man.
The last time Steph didn't have KD, he was the first unanimous MVP in the history of the NBA. And Steph, believe it or not, in his second back-to-back MVP season, his first back-to-back, but his second MVP season, he finished third in most improved player as well.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But, still, I just don't think the record is going to be there. So I don't know about Steph getting MVP.
You don't think the Warriors are going to be up there in the West?
Nah. I think like a 5 seed. Just because, and then just giving their experience with the playoffs, I don't think that they're going to just go and just bust their ass all season to make sure they get a 1 seed. I feel like they're going to be like, all right, let's make the playoffs and then worry about it when we get there. You know, like they have that championship experience. So I don't just think they're gunning for a 1 seed right now.
I know you drafted Lonzo Ball in fantasy, and you're very happy about that.
Yeah.
Do you have another prediction of who's going to be popping off this year that nobody's expecting?
For fantasy?
For fantasy or real life. Usually they go hand in hand.
Man, what's a prediction? I gotta look at a list. I'm trash at like thinking shit on top of my head.
Fair enough. I'm thinking like I always look at the small market guys or the guys that just switched. So Julius Randle,
Julius Randle's a good pick. I like that a lot.
Just because he averaged, like the way I look at it is he averaged 21 and 9 for the Pelicans last year.
Right.
If anyone thinks, and I like to compare, so obviously I was bummed when we didn't get Zion.
Yeah.
There's no way that Zion puts up 21 and 9 in his rookie season.
There's a way.
You think there's a way?
There's a way. I'm not saying he can't do it. There's probably not, but there is a way. Like, he's a fucking freak of nature and shit.
He's a beast. He just has to stay healthy.
I don't think so, but there's a way. I wouldn't just count it out. But
I'm giving
21
Julius,
and 9 is like
I think
elite,
Julius is going to do even better than that because he's got every shot and a green light at the Garden, which is
in the East.
Out of all things in the world to have, a green light at the Garden is a pretty good one.
I like Julius Randle a lot. You know who I like a lot, man? That we haven't even seen play yet in the regular season. My pick. Will Roush actually took him super early, but I like Tyler Hero a whole lot, man. I can't wait to see him hoop.
He's good.
Yeah, I like him a whole lot. So
I saw him in Vegas, and he was cooking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, he's dope, bro. I just like his attitude. Him and RJ Barrett, I feel like have the mindset. You know, it just they got to put the NBA skill level behind it, and but I think both of them could be really good as far as rookies go.
Are you a college basketball fan at all?
I watch it. I'm like I tune in when it gets down to like
in March,
like February and March and shit. I can't do the whole. There's so many schools and so many kids and shit.
It's too much.
Yeah,
it's
but
way too much.
I always try to keep track of who's on like the Longhorns and shit. Naturally, I just feel like Villanova and shit. Those are always like been my schools that I kind of like pay attention to and shit. I like those two a lot. So
you didn't go to Texas, right?
No, not at all. I went to Howard and our basketball team was complete ass. So.
Did you think about hopping on?
Oh no, hell no. I haven't played basketball like with a referee since probably like middle school. I've always
really.
Yeah, I was one of those kids that played like every sport. My dad was like that too. So I ran track. That was like my thing. But I played baseball until I was like 14 or 15. I played soccer until I was like around the same age and shit. I played like every sport. So I was like kind of good at everything and shit.
And where was this? Where'd you grow up?
In Texas. In Houston.
Texas?
Yeah. So with football, I played football too in high school for a little bit, and it was like 3 a days, and it was like 100 degrees outside in like February and shit. And I was like, nah, this isn't what I'm trying to do and shit. So
that's when kids pass out.
Word. It's like you really got to be some psycho to play Texas football. It's like a real thing. Like Friday Night Lights is a very real. They're probably like under exaggerating it, like what you see on TV. It gets crazy. It's like joining the fucking army for real.
Well, Texas high school football stadiums are like actual stadiums.
Yeah, so my high school, I went to this school called Hightower High School, and at first there was no, so like in each district, there's like your landmark high school football stadiums where like every team will kind of like play around or whatever. So there was one called, I feel like there was Mercer Stadium, which was like in like Sugar Land, and then there was like another one a little farther out. So they built a brand new one on my high school campus probably when I was like a freshman. It was called Hall Stadium. And that shit literally looks like fucking Michigan State could play in there. Like, it's crazy as fuck. Yeah. There's a track and everything. Like, it's wild. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In Connecticut, they don't quite have that. Although one time when I was broadcasting in high school, I went to the stadium and we had a booth. And that was the craziest shit ever.
That's sick. That's
we were all going wild.
Word.
Because like my high school was just field. It was a field and like bleachers. But I've seen some of these videos online of these high school stadiums that literally look like they're bigger than Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, no, they're humongous. Like graduations going in there, like all type of shit. It's wild. Yeah, so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Was your high school any good at sports?
Hell yeah. So, and that was the other thing too. It was not like you could just bounce around from team to team because everyone was so fucking good. I think we went to state in every sport while I was in high school. I think basketball might have went to like the semifinal. Not to shit on them or anything, but I think basketball went to like the semis. I think football went to at least the semis, and then we went to state finals the year after I left. And then in track we won state twice while I was there, and baseball I'm not too sure. Not baseball, we weren't really that much of a thing, but no, every sport in my high school was like ridiculous.
And then from high school in Texas, you went to Philly for Howard.
No, I went to DC for
you went to DC.
Howard's in DC. Yeah,
Gotcha.
So I went there. I ran track for like a little bit, and I was like, I'm not going to the Olympics, so I just like stopped.
You thought about that was a real thought?
I mean, it's like when you run track and then you get like a D1 scholarship or something, it's like it's a possibility in your head.
That's
and
crazy.
Then you get there and
you got a D1 scholarship for
yeah,
track?
partial, yeah.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was there busting my ass and shit. And then but running track on the East Coast is way different from running track down south.
What's
it's
the
like
difference?
Fucking like in February, like I said, like in February in Texas, like you're like outside with your shirt off, like running sprints.
Right.
And on the East Coast, you're like outside in the snow, like running cross country and like indoor track and all that type of shit. So it's it's a way different experience. I just didn't enjoy it as much. So
gotcha.
Gave it up, started DJing, and then the rest is history.
At what point that was what made you start to be interested in music? Was
not
it the
that
people you were
point. I
around?
was always interested. It was just I just had way more time. Like, you know, being a student athlete, you're fucking, you know, you're up at 8 a.m. You're fucking going to class all day. Then you got 5 o'clock workouts. And, you know, so after that, I just had a lot more time on my hands to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And being like an 18, 19-year-old kid, it's like you really don't even know. So I just started like experimenting. I started. I had like a radio show in college and shit, and then
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I started DJing from there, and it's kind of how it worked. So.
Speaking of being a student athlete,
thank God I wasn't that fast, for real.
Well, you could have been Usain Chase.
I could not have. That was the problem.
Maybe not on the East Coast. Off of that, our friends over at Uninterrupted, they just unveiled. I'm curious how you think about this as a student athlete, but the new court documents allowing California athletes to monetize off their own brand.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's pretty fire. I don't see why not, man. Especially like, I know they don't do like the video games and shit anymore, but I always, even back then, I was kind of curious, like, yo, these kids, because they'll just put like player number 3, but it's like your height, weight, face, and shit. You know, it's like it's like your whole shit. So I was always curious, like, why don't they get anything from that? Yeah. So I'm just worried about, you know, like just in our society in general, like everything's so gimmicky now and shit. So I just don't want these kids to turn into gimmicks to get paid. You know, like I'm gonna dye my hair pink and fucking try to dunk on everybody every time I get the ball just so I can get my likeness up and get, you know, like
I'm gonna wear a Richard Mille and I'm gonna take out a loan for it.
That's really what I'm worried. I think that's a big reason why they didn't want these college kids to get paid in general, just because like that's the goal. Is like, oh, I'm in college and I can skip a step instead of actually getting drafted. I can be in college and do this shit now,
right? And
potentially not even have to get drafted, because what if I'm just turn this shit into a big ass reality show and like just be famous here, not get drafted, and just like start my career on YouTube and just like be famous that way, you know, like you don't
D'Angelo Ball.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, it's like I can just stop here instead of like actually getting drafted. So
that's an interesting point. I haven't heard that before. That's super valid though. One of the things that made me really think about it a couple weeks ago is I saw this female gymnast, especially in like sports that don't go professional,
right?
Like
exactly.
Gymnastics, really.
Exactly,
like,
man.
There isn't a professional sport apart from the Olympics where you don't make money on your own brand until you become famous or win afterwards.
Right.
So I saw this college female gymnast who had a viral video. She got 300 million views. Was on every news outlet. And then it died because she couldn't make a penny off of her own brand.
Damn.
That's where I think, you know, it really it becomes super cool for people like that. Whereas in basketball, the goal has to be to be the best.
Yeah, just to be good, you know.
And you shouldn't, like, the one thing is I hope that guys don't become ball hogs for that reason.
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm glad because people have been complaining about this shit for so long, you know. I wouldn't get paid shit for when I was a student athlete, but I know there's a lot that when I was in school wanted to get paid something. I know that they like went back and they're starting to give kids like small like increments of money. I don't know, Trent can say, but
yeah,
they're like the NCAA's like giving checks to like athletes from like 10 years ago now and shit, like small little checks. But
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
Check shows up in the mail. It's
for
a
real.
check.
Like I haven't bounced a basketball in 10 years and I'm getting paid for this shit.
Right.
So.
Like imagine if somebody sent you a check for your track and field career.
No, that would be
right now. It
like
showed
a
up.
$4.50 check. Like, yo, like thank you for your contribution to the NCAA, bro. You're
That's
amazing.
almost disrespectful at that point. It's
hey,
like,
man.
Here's what you contributed to our
I'll take it.
multi-billion-dollar association, 38 cents.
Yo, I'll go to Cinnabon with that shit. I'll be all right. It all counts.
Speaking of being at Howard and then starting to DJ, so really the fact that they had a radio station, you just had a previous interest in music is kind of what started that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was like always the one. I downloaded like every fucking mixtape or album, whether I liked it or not. I just wanted to have it. And it pays off now. Like I still have all that music on like hard drives and shit. So all the shit that you like can't download anymore, still have all that shit.
What kind of artists were those?
Just random ass like there's so many mixtapes of like just I feel like everybody that was anything on like Dat Piff and all those like rap mixtapes and shit back then. I have all of that shit. Like it's too much.
And this is a giant hard drive where you store it all?
Yeah, so like I have a hard drive and then like on my actual like work computer I'll go and I'll like every now and then I have to delete stuff because my computer's too full and it like fucks up my like Serato and shit. But yeah, for the most part I have everything. And like even like all that rock music and just shit, I just went and just downloaded every fucking whenever it came to my mind. I just wanted to have it, and, whether I liked it or not and shit.
Are you well organized as far as your digital assets?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm like totally locked in. I have an Apple Watch on right now that's connected to the iPad, which is connected to the, it's like I just like to be like digitally like in sync and shit. And so I organize.
Agreed.
Literally, I probably have like I think 70,000 songs on my like work laptop.
Whoa.
And I go up through like every 6 months and I just go like reorganize them like just so like exactly where to go. And like I said, I'm not good at thinking of shit on the top of my head. Mm-hmm. So like when I'm DJing, I'm not that guy that's like, oh, you know what, this would be fire. Like I want to like see it. It's like, oh, this is what I was thinking last week, and so I need to have shit like in front of me.
So if you're doing a club, are you ever scrolling and then when you see it?
Yeah, I don't do like preconceived sets at all.
Gotcha.
I'll go and I'll like the first 15 minutes I'll like go and like fill it out, and then after that I just start going through my crates and shit and mapping everything out.
And then do you also base it on kind of the vibe in the room?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the first 15 minutes are for. It's like, oh, like
Gotcha.
They didn't dance to this, but they danced to this shit. So it's like, all right, let me go and
Has there been a song in clubs that through the time that you've been DJing has always gotten the people to dance?
Yeah, there's a lot of songs like that. You'd be surprised. Like people are really. Like I feel like now people are so like knowledgeable of what DJs like are and what they should be, and people think they are DJs like themselves at this point. So like they like know what they're supposed to hear. So there's certain
carpool DJs.
Yeah, there's all like aux chord fucking phenomenons and shit. So there's all types of shit. But just like the same fucking, there's always gonna be like songs like "Be Faithful" and like. Even like "Hot Nigga" by Bobby Schmurder, like all those, like they're not going anywhere. Like the Work remix, like those aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, those are like classic club songs at this point.
That's hilarious.
Which is tight, yeah.
When you guys are on tour, what song goes the hardest across the United States?
Trap song?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, obviously Sicko Mode. Other than that, you know what? In the United States, definitely Sicko Mode, but overseas, I kind of noticed that Goosebumps was like the one.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I just think it kind of has like more of an international kind of vibe to it. It's a little like darker and like the ambiance of it is. I just feel like the international kids just like it more. I don't know. Then they always do like that like soccer chant shit before. Like while the intro is playing, so I got
soccer chants,
like like they always like get into that for Goosebumps. So it must be something that like reminds them of like their favorite football team.
Some
like,
pitch.
Word. I'm just like every time I noticed that like especially like this past European tour, I was like, yo, I feel like Goosebumps is like their biggest shit. So
did you have a favorite place you guys performed overseas?
Fuck.
Or is there anywhere that you would like to perform at some point in your life at a club or as like an actual set, solo or with Trav?
Man, I've never been to Brazil. I really want to go to like Rio. I think that would be tight. I
remember we were together right before I went to Italy, and you were saying you hadn't been to Italy before.
Never been to Italy. I don't know about performing in Italy. I want to go. I
don't think that's a vibe.
Yeah, I don't think that's a vibe. Like gondolas and shit. Like I don't think that mosh pit on gondolas. But
although that would be
that'd be pretty fire.
Unreal.
But yeah, I just want to go to Italy and just like see the shit. But Brazil I think would be fire. It's like a very musical.
I definitely recommend don't go. I mean, you can fly into Rome, but then go to Florence or like Milan.
Like Milan and all that shit.
Oh, but definitely don't spend time in Venice. Well, Venice though, it's super interesting. I think in the next 2 months they're not allowing any cruise ships through anymore.
Oh, it's really like getting to that point.
Over.
Damn.
Forever. So it's gonna be a lot less crowded. But when I was there, it was a shit show.
Yeah, I remember reading about this shit, in like books a long ass time ago, and how like Venice is supposed to sink in like the next 10 years, and that was like 30 years ago or whatever, and now it's like actually affecting the city.
It's not
That's
gonna
crazy.
be there. It's super crazy. They're gonna have to start transporting the Leonardo da Vinci art.
Right. That's
out.
crazy. Yeah, that's wild. It's actually happening.
So you just started. I don't know if you'd been doing it before, but you just started putting out your own music.
Yep.
What makes you excited about that?
Man, it's just fun just to see people's reactions for real. And it's only been one joint so far. So, but just like even just being in studios and just like playing it for people and shit, like it's fun to just like hear feedback and just seeing like how like the range of music that I like, and actually being able to like put that down onto a computer and for an artist to come in and give their, you know, additions to it. I think that shit's just fun, man. Even like I would make an album just for myself and just like keep it.
Are you going to?
Maybe. Shit, why not?
Do it.
Yeah, like only, and just especially because I'm a DJ, so I can go and be like, yo, I'm the only person that has this fucking album. I can just go and just keep my shit and forever, and like literally, you know, now I know people want to like rip shit and put it on SoundCloud, like, you know, if you fucking put a voice memo in the club or whatever, but it would be cool to just have like your own.
That's so crazy how that works. I paid a little bit of attention to people like modifying SoundClouds and then being able to monetize off of it. Pretty ridiculous.
Pretty ridiculous, yeah. But no, it would be cool to just have like your own little album and just only play it for your friends and shit. That'd be cool.
Super sick. And then it's crazy with music too. One of the things that I've noticed with this recent emergence of TikTok, which I've been telling you about, is songs go so much further than the actual 3-minute, 30-second song. You know, it's like some of these songs have like 600 million loops on one
their purpose is
video.
to be like 20 seconds long. It's like the song's purpose is to be like perfectly looped onto this TikTok and just over and
so then you like see like Mayday or something over the top of like some random girl catching a football, like
and now the song is
backflip.
viral.
And now 2 billion more people have heard the song.
Right. That's wild, man. TikTok is some crazy shit.
But yeah, I mean music in general too, and that's why I'm sure it's fun. Is there any better feeling in the world than dropping new music?
Nah, there's not. There's zero. Maybe dunking. I haven't dunked yet.
Neither
I really want to dunk. Maybe that might be the best day of my life. But
it's possible. You just got to do like a lot of box training.
Exactly.
Like box jumping and shit.
It's a thing for sure. I want to. Maybe that'll be like my New Year's resolution is to dunk.
That's a pretty sick.
I'm gonna say that today.
Challenge.
My New Year's resolution is to dunk a goddamn basketball on a 10-foot hoop.
1 year from now, we're gonna post a video of Chase B dunking a basketball.
This could be fucking crazy.
No trampolines in sight.
Yeah. Nah, even you know T-Jazz, you know his whole thing last year was to dunk.
Yeah.
And it was fire how he like documented the whole shit. Yeah, I think that was really tight. Yeah, shout out to him. That was dope.
Where do you want to see yourself in 5-10 years?
5-10 years, man. I want to like obviously still putting records out, but I want to like executive produce a lot of albums and shit. I think that's where I really come in handy. Just because while I haven't been putting my own music out, I've just met so many good and valuable people along the way, and I just feel like tying all these resources in to help someone else's music could be even more of a thing than my own. Yeah. So
that's that mogul level.
Yeah, you know, because I don't even really move like on some type of like, oh, like you scratch my back, I scratch you. It's just like I really like natural organic relationships. 100%. Yeah. So I just feel like when it comes to creating, I feel like that would be like the best way to go about it. So yeah, that's definitely what I want to do more of.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite thing about being a part of Cactus Jack?
Man, it's just I like it because it's so natural. Like it's not like there's no one on the label that I wouldn't just call and like just talk to about shit. You know, I know there's a lot of shit where it's like, oh, like that person is that type of whatever. You know, like we're on the same label, but like he's on his own shit or whatever. Like, you know, between me, Trav, Shaq, and Don, like we all, you know, like we call each other. We talk about ball, we talk about music, talk about whatever. You know, like we're all kind of like on the same wavelength when it comes to like just being friends and shit. So it definitely is like a big ass community, big ass family. Well, actually, it's not. You know, it's like a small, tight knit.
But it feels big.
Family. It feels big, yeah. But it's actually it's just, you know, aside from Don and Shaq, like me, Trav, David, Busy, fucking Easy. You know, we've all been on this journey together for like 7 years now. So like we're like really.
It's been 7 years.
That's crazy. I mean, it's about to be 2020. Yeah, so it's been like 7 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, and you know, like not too much has changed as far as like how we operate our business. So you know, it's dope to just be a part of it.
Yeah, and what you're talking about too with just things being organic.
Yeah,
it's like if things are organic and everybody's on the same page, then you'll grow as much as you want.
Exactly, and we're just all like I said, like even just creatively, I feel like we're all on the same kind of tempo right now.
Yeah,
as far as like putting shit out, whether it's a fucking song or a Reese's box, you know, I feel like everybody's kind of on the same, you know, taste level and shit. So it's dope.
Yeah, the Reese's box was hilarious.
That shit was fun.
How annoying is it people asking you for shoes?
Oh shit.
The most annoying, right?
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. It just be not like I expect it to happen. You know, like I'm not gonna
if it didn't happen, then the shoes would know that the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes is whack. Yeah, so but it's just the fashion that people ask, and you know, like I'll get a text like, "Yo, need all these in the 10." Like you can't even like.
What's the wrong way to ask?
Yeah.
And what's the right way to ask?
I mean, the right way to ask is like actually talking to me in general as a person when there isn't a shoe dropping. That'd be nice.
Day of the shoe drop.
Yeah.
Yo, what's good, man?
Yo,
how's everything been?
Yeah, that's probably the wrong way. You know, I'll always hold down who I know should be held down. You know, but when it comes to like people that's just like will literally just show me like, yo, so you got me.
Show up in your DMs.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you got me right, like for real. It's like,
is that a classic line? You got me.
Yes. But people have a lot of audacity, man. And I get it, like, you know, get your shit off or whatever, but I'm just not that type of person. I have no problem. You know, I barely text anyway. I really text my own family and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not just a big texter like that. So if you text me, ask for some shit, I'm probably not going to get back to you. Definitely got to call me.
Are you a FaceTime guy?
Yes.
You FaceTimed on the way in here. I was like, oh, he's FaceTime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I FaceTime and call, man. I feel like you can ask anybody. Ask Angie, anybody. Like, literally, I will be on the phone while I'm doing nothing. He's just like, like, we're going to text anyway, so we might as well just get this shit off.
You can bang a 45-minute text conversation out in 45 seconds on a phone call.
I don't text. That shit's weird, man. It's not weird. It's just like, I can't, like, that's just another thing you got to think about. Just call me, man. I'm right here. The phone works the same way. Yeah, right. So I'm just big on calls and shit like that.
One of my favorite comedy specials of all time was Jerry Seinfeld on phone calling, and he was going off about how people ask, like, you there? Like when they call you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like,
yeah, I'm here. I've been here.
Right.
And I'm here. What do you want?
Yo, Seinfeld's
I want some shoes, man.
Right. Yeah, there it is. It's like, oh, since you called, yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, that's all you had to do was call me once. It's all good.
What are your favorite technologies that you use in your house on a daily basis?
Favorite technologies? That's a good question.
You have your Apple Watch on. You got the iPhone 11.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you use probably Mac laptop.
Yeah. Obviously, I still use, like, my DJ setup is very
Xbox. Are you PS?
I'm PS for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, PS. I'm trying to think if I have any other cool shit in my house. My mom bought me one of those Google Home shits. I haven't set it up yet though. I want to.
Yeah, I have one because when I signed up for like Verizon or whatever it was, they just sent me one.
Yeah,
so I was like, all right, it's here now.
Yeah.
Never set it up though.
It's my new best friend I can talk to and shit. You know, I like Sonos, man.
Sonos is great.
If you're listening, Sonos, I really like you guys.
Maybe you're listening on Sonos through Sonos.
But no, I like Sonos a lot just because, like, you can fucking literally just have that. Like, you know, on my apartment, you know, New York apartments are only so big, but I probably have like 7 of them shits. Like, just every corner of every little crevice. I need to hear, like, everything all the time and shit.
Do you not like silence? I feel like you're the type of guy that wouldn't like silence.
When I'm at home, I don't like silence, but when I'm traveling, I don't listen to shit.
Really?
I don't listen to it. Yeah, I'll be on the plane. I'll put my headphones in and I just won't even press play on anything. Because I feel like you hear music so much and shit and just being out.
You hear music so much.
Yeah. You just like from like the club to wherever and to the studio. And like I feel like the plane is probably like one of the only places where you can like not listen. It's like I just want to just be quiet and like get my thoughts off and shit or whatever. And then you land and go to work. It's back
Do you
to
like
music.
planes for that?
Yeah, I love planes for that. That's like my place to actually go and just be like, yo, my phone, you literally can't, like, you know, if there's no Wi-Fi, like, you can't call me or text me right now. Like,
nobody can ask me for shoes while I'm in the air.
Literally, yo, it's like, especially New York to LA, it's like, all right, here's 6 hours for you to just shut the fuck up. Like, everyone just be quiet for these 6 hours. And I can just be like, yo, I was on the plane. Like, my bad, bro. I was
really good excuse. Like that's
great
a
excuse.
Proper excuse.
Yeah.
Sleeping is the second best one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I was asleep.
On the plane. Double whammy. I was asleep and I was in the plane.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
What are they going to say in response to that?
Exactly. Not getting through to that. So
man, I called you 5 times. I was on airplane mode. Asleep on an airplane.
Exactly. For real. Yeah, so I like silence a little bit. You know, but yeah, that's not at home. I just like hearing music out the house and shit.
What's your weekly sneaker rotation, and how much does it fluctuate from a week-to-week basis?
Man, it should fluctuate a lot more. I have a lot of shoes that I don't wear, and I want to. That's why the big reason I had to get those like cleared shoe boxes and shit. Because when they're in the boxes, you like forget like which ones is which. But I wear the travel ones a lot, the brown ones. I think the Unions are amazing, both the navy blue and the black pair. I wear threes a lot, like white cement threes, true blue three. I only DJ in threes. That's like a thing. Yeah, it's like a fun fact.
That's a thing?
Yeah, it's a fun fact. Every time I go to work, I'll have threes on. Literally.
When
every
did that
time.
start and why?
Probably started like 3 years ago. And I don't know, they just kind of, they're like comfortable. And it's like, I feel like when people see me now, like they kind of expect me to have on some type of like good shit. Like I can't just come in like some like weird, like weak shit. And I feel like threes are like respectable enough to be like, oh, like he came in the threes or whatever. And they're like still comfortable. And I just feel like they look good with most of the shit I wear to work. So yeah. It's been like 3 years of me like 3 and 3 or whatever. But yeah, it's been like 3 years of me only wearing threes to work, like exclusively.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Super interesting. I've thought about this a bunch the last couple of months for artists in particular. Like there's a lot of jumping and moving around on stage. It's a workout in and itself. So comfort has to be. Yeah. Like I don't understand when I see artists that are, like, especially female artists, wearing heels on stage. Like,
that's just crazy.
Is this happening?
Yeah. Shit. Me and Beyonce are in like opposite boats because me, it's a lot of standing. Like and not moving and shit, especially like in Vegas doing like 4-hour sets or something. It's like,
but you are standing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's just, I'm not like dancing, but it's like literally I'm just sitting there standing up.
You're like, not twerking on stage.
Not doing that. There's a lot of DJs that are now, but
really,
yeah, it's a thing. Yo, gimmicks, man. That's what we're talking about. 2019, 2020 is, be famous.
Should the goal be less gimmicks?
I think so.
For everybody out there?
I think so, but, get your money, man. That. Get your money. That's all I got to say.
But then again, if you can do it in like an organic, authentic way, granted it might be over a longer period of time, it'll come across better and it'll last longer.
Right. And just because it's a gimmick to me doesn't mean it's actually a gimmick. Like maybe you genuinely feel like you want to like just fucking wild out and, like whatever the hell, maybe that's like honestly what you feel like doing, so.
What are some crazy things?
I'm pretty bored.
You spent a bunch of time at clubs, obviously, from working.
Yeah.
What are some crazy things you've seen go down at clubs?
Yo, tons of shit. Yo, it's literally like, honestly, just people like, I don't even know, man. There's a lot of weird shit. People passing out and throwing up and all type of wild, getting kicked out. Yo, bouncers like literally like picking niggas out. It's wild, man. I've seen a lot of weird shit at clubs.
Really?
Yeah. Probably too much, especially in Vegas.
People are crazy.
Yeah. Leaving the club in Vegas is probably the wildest shit. When you're like leaving the club at like 5 a.m. And
in Vegas, in particular.
Yeah. There's some dark shit going on out there. Yeah, I stay away from all that though. I'm wholesome. Yeah. I'm a good kid.
What's your favorite city to DJ in?
Man, I like Vegas a lot. I like Vegas. I like here. It's a big reason why I still live here. Vegas here. Miami's cool. It has its moments. And Paris is dope. There's a lot of energy in Paris. And London, too.
We had a moment on Sunday, a couple of friends of ours, where we were trashing the West Coast because they messed up our fantasy basketball draft.
Oh, shit.
Because they scheduled it for the wrong time. And it made me even less of a fan of the West Coast.
Team West Coast, man. You got to get it together.
Our fantasy leagues really come together, though.
Yeah, no.
There were a couple things in the group chat today that were highly questionable.
Yeah,
we thought that there were a certain amount of roster spots. Turns out there are more. We found out that you can only play a minimum games in a specific week, which was only disclosed by the two commissioners. Which is also another questionable move.
Big fuck up. Big fuck up. And adding the 2 roster spots takes away from 2 of the 60 moves that we can make this year.
Literally.
So now we're all down to 58.
Yeah,
which is bullshit. So we're getting it together. I feel like we're just taking the league a lot more seriously this year. So I think that's why like all these discrepancies are happening because people actually really give a fuck.
Yeah.
So last year there probably were the same mistakes when it came to setting up the league, but people just kind of didn't notice or just didn't feel the need to speak up. I feel like now people are really gunning, and that money went up, so people want the bread.
That money went up 10x.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Need that.
Yeah, people are going to be going off. Yeah. Although if there was streaming, bro, people would be replaced. For those who don't know what streaming is,
fuck streaming.
It's when you replace a player, you add a player to your lineup any given day.
Right.
Terrible.
Just for more games and shit. I would have won last year if it wasn't for streaming, man.
Really?
I would have won.
You upset about that?
Yeah. I'm not as upset as I would be this year with fucking 10 times more bread. But but I should have won last year. So
that's funny.
And I made 9 moves last year. I didn't like go and like, oh, look, this guy's trash. I only made 9 moves and I made it deep into the playoffs, but streaming got me. So
Who was the dude that held it down for you fantasy last year?
Cat and Paul George were like, they were just ridiculous last year. And there was a couple more. I picked up like Mikal Bridges late last year, and he did really well. There was a couple. I got to see my roster from like I said, I'm trash at thinking of shit. But I know Cat and Paul George were going ridiculous. So
that's fine.
Shout out to them for holding it down.
What's your favorite basketball court in the United States?
In the United States, man,
could be NBA court, could be street ball court, could be a gym, could be Chelsea Piers, like whatever.
Yeah, favorite to play at is probably, from where I play at, is probably the Equinox on 61st.
That's a good one
because
you got the double courts.
There's double courts and it's super organized. Like it's not like they'll have like the dude that runs the gym in there like literally setting up 4 games in advance. You know, like it's not some bullshit. We're like, oh, you got next day, you got 5. It's like, oh yeah, 2 of them are playing right now, and then one of them's on the way. It's like, no, nigga, like the 5 people that are on the sideline is who you're playing with. You know. So they're really good at that.
They have a dude with a clipboard who's paid to manage the games there.
That's fine. I think that's necessary, especially when people at like some shit like Equinox, when people are like paying their rent to like play there and shit. I think that's pretty important. You know,
literally.
Like, and it just keeps everything even. It's like, all right, like obviously you're gonna want to pick up the 5 best niggas on the court or whatever. So I like playing there a lot, especially like Sunday morning runs are really good there. Chelsea Piers is cool just because we live down the street. So
100%.
Yeah. But I've always been a fan of West 4th just because it was always in like movies and shit.
It's a classic.
It's just classic.
Although the competition gets physical.
Yeah.
Very. Which is dangerous when
outdoor,
you need to be standing for a living.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I don't really play outdoor for real. And then, you know, other court is cool, that court outside right across from the Toyota Center in Houston. It's like, it kind of goes down into like this little like bunker looking shit.
I've never actually been to Houston.
Oh, where? Oh, you got to see it. I'm sure you'll probably end up there at some point this year. But maybe for the NBA Finals or something. But
small flex.
But you know, there's like this little court right across the street from Toyota Center. It's like a little bunker, and there's always kids out there hooping and shit. It's
maybe
tight.
I have seen that in where would I have seen that? Maybe in like a 2K loading screen or something like that.
It probably is. It's literally right across the street. So I know Seattle has a lot of cool courts too.
Seattle needs a team back.
You're right. That'd be fine.
If you could add a team anywhere, where would you add? Seattle.
Yeah.
St. Louis is another city that obviously
that's a good one.
A great sports fan base, but no basketball team.
They used to have did St. Louis, who they used to have? Did they ever have the Jazz?
They might have had a team. That sounds kind of right.
Yeah.
I know there have been a lot of teams like.
I feel like that makes sense because it's like the Blues and the Jazz. I'm about to look it up right now.
Because Vancouver's team, they went to Memphis.
Right.
Oklahoma City's team obviously was from Seattle. The Golden State Warriors, I'm not sure if they were the Philadelphia Warriors and that they moved out there.
Yeah.
Or it was 2 separate teams that just took the name.
Hold on.
Justin, do you have my phone over there?
They had the St. Louis Bombers.
Oh, here it is.
That's kind of. That wouldn't really fly these days.
St. Louis Bombers?
Yeah.
No.
They had the.
If the Devil Rays don't pass, the St. Louis Bombers.
All right, so in 1949, they had the St. Louis Bombers, and in 1955 they had the St. Louis Hawks. Okay.
The St. Louis Hawks.
So yeah, not the Jazz, but.
If you could name a team right now, what would you go with?
Man, it would be. All right, we'll keep it in St. Louis.
Cactus Jack.
Right.
That would be insane.
That's a good question. It would be what's like a good food city? The New Orleans.
Definitely not Pelicans. Pelicans is terrible.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna change.
I was never a fan. Hornets is dope though. Like I don't know. I don't understand why they switched that.
We'll go with the New Orleans Crawfish.
That's very local.
That's my team name.
I was down there for Mardi Gras this past year.
Yeah.
I should not have.
Oh, it was crazy, right?
Rowdy.
Yeah, that shit's wild. Yeah, I've been there like probably twice in my lifetime. And yeah, I don't really have any interest in going back. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a mess. You guys were just down there for Wayne's Festival, right?
Yeah. And that was crazy for that too. It was mad bugs and shit. It was wild.
Really?
Yeah, that bayou shit is crazy. A lot of huge ass bugs.
Yeah, that's difficult. We were talking about best guys in the court. Who do you think wins MVP this year?
Who do I think win MVP? Honestly, I think LeBron.
Really?
If he can figure it out. just because of.
You got Bron looking at you right behind you.
Is that right? Well, yeah, that's my pick, man. Yeah, I can see LeBron. I can honestly see James just coming back and getting it again.
We were talking about James last year, which you made some valid points on this, how James 2 years ago had far worse stats than he had last year.
Right, yeah.
But because it was back-to-back years, they wanted to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, propaganda, man. That's fucked up. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. No shade to Giannis, but it's just like, obviously, like, look at these numbers, like 50-point triple-double, 60-point triple-double in the same season, averaging 36, 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 a game. It's like.
So our sponsor for this podcast is a company called Playline, and their whole thing is guessing like stats and whatnot. So more on our sponsor for the podcast, Playline. It's actually the first sponsor we've ever had on the podcast. And the reason I wanted to work with them was because they have this crazy game. First off, they're Toronto-based, and I love Toronto. But second, they have this really, really cool game where every single night you can win $1 million by guessing 3 NBA players' stats. So the biggest 3 players of the night for the most part. You guess their stats, points, rebounds, and assists. You get them all right, you win $1 million. Sounds simple enough. Better than that, all you have to do is enter a game called Beat Buster on Playline.com. And if you beat me, you're entered to win one of a ton of prizes. So like last week, for example, I think I have it on my phone. Let me find it. We had a kid named Ryan Shepard from Denver who won an Xbox One. He didn't guess all the players' stats correctly. He just guessed them better than I did. So anybody that guesses their stats for each week in the Beat Buster Challenge on Playline.com gets entered to win a cool prize, in addition to being entered to win $1 million. So all you have to do to actually play in it is go to Playline.com, put in $5, the cost of a cup of coffee. And coffee's bad for you anyways. I don't drink coffee. Caffeine's bad. But what you have to do is you have to do that, and then they put in $25 free when you use the promo code, my promo code, Buster. So all you have to do is type in BUSTER on the Playline.com site when you do it, and you get a free $25 when you put in a cup of coffee. So sounds pretty good to me. I hope you can win. I don't hope you can beat me, but most of you will probably beat me and then be entered to win a cool prize. And every week on the podcast, we're going to announce the winner of the previous week's prize. So that's that. Check it out, Playline.com. I mean, it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. What do you think James puts up this year?
What is he average?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 32.
32? I'm
going to say 32.
What did he put up last year, 36?
36 was last year, which is ridiculous, bro. That's
ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Those are some MJ prime
to go
numbers.
out every night and put up 36.
And he played most of his games.
He missed probably like a week and a half, 2.5 weeks or something like that. Yeah. Easily my favorite player in the league. He just makes basketball look so fun, man. Not just because of obviously our relationship or whatever, but he makes basketball look so fucking fun. To just go out and just score on anybody at any, that's just fire.
So fire.
Yeah.
He's got to be feeling amazing.
Yo, literally.
When he goes to bed every night after torching 12 different guys that came to his city to try to beat him.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even like with this whole new like one leg shot shit he's doing, it's just like.
How do you feel about it? You like that?
I like it as an artist.
We saw your other fantasy basketball player attempt that last night, Lonzo Ball.
Well, Lonzo tried it, right? And that's why I like it. Is because it's like let's all do it now.
It's innovative.
It's innovative, and I feel like as an artist and as a professional, I feel like that's the goal, is to like push it forward. And like James obviously has put in his 10,000 hours of like perfection, and now it's like, since I mastered my craft, it's like now that's when you start to innovate it. So I feel like that's where he's at right now. It's like I've already dropped 36 on everyone, so now I'm just gonna shoot off one fucking leg because y'all can't hold me.
Yeah, wait till they have the 4-point shot.
Is that really gonna happen?
We'll see.
That'd be crazy. I don't really like that.
Neither do I, because I think like. In retrospect, obviously they should have added the 3-point line far earlier, but it's just, the game progresses and whatnot. But then you look at how it affects statistics. Like a lot of these legends that we look at, it's like, oh yeah, they only had, like Wilt Chamberlain only had X points. Not that Wilt would be popping threes, although in 2020 he probably would be.
Yeah, right.
A lot of these guys' statistics are heavily impacted, but we put them on the same lists, you know? Like just as like a statistics guy that's like interested in that side of the sport too, it's super shitty when they switch up the stats.
I don't even want to see the court look like that. It would be like, yo, honestly, it's over. It's just turned into an arcade,
Did you see what they added last night with it's not on the actual court, but adding a shot clock in the middle of the free throw line?
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
It's so crazy.
That's crazy. No, I saw the coach challenge shit. I didn't see the
coach challenges. Also, I feel like that's almost necessary.
Yeah. Definitely in the playoffs, that'll come in.
One a game, and if you get it right, you keep it. Same rules like tennis, so I think that's interesting.
Word. I didn't see the shot clock shit though. That's great. They just want everything to speed up.
Yeah.
Every sport.
Every sport.
Yeah.
Baseball especially.
Right. Even pitching has a shot clock basically now. Like they have that clock on the side between pitches and shit.
How, if you were in charge of Major League Baseball, what would you do to get kids back interested in baseball?
Man, I feel like it's really on. I don't know. Obviously, I feel like stuff is like social media driven. So
100%.
They just got to get the players more involved with like what's actually happening.
Yeah.
You know, as far as like even music or just like I feel like baseball players are like never in like commercials. I would just like really just try to instigate players getting more involved in like pop culture and shit like that. Because I feel like Derek Jeter was like the only one for like,
and he did it outside of social media.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, but even like, you know, with the whole, I know that everybody was on like roids and shit, but like I feel like baseball was fire when it was like Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa just like jacking 50 home runs a year. You know, that's when baseball was like at its peak.
They should have. I saw somebody sent this to me a little while ago. There should be an Olympic event where you can take as many drugs as you want. It's like fuck it, let's see how high a human really can jump.
Or that'd be crazy. Just performance enhancing is the sport now.
Home run derby where everyone's allowed to take steroids a year in advance.
That'd be crazy.
It would do better ratings wise than the actual sports themselves.
For sure. I do feel like baseball is kind of on an incline.
Could you imagine long jump with people who are taking drugs beforehand? Like
just jumping 30-foot long jumps.
Weightlifting, like bro.
The performance enhancing Olympics. That'd be crazy.
That would be sick.
That'd be tight.
So you have the Houston Rockets winning it all this year. I mean, you can't really say anything different.
Sure do.
Who do you have out of the East?
Philly. That Al Horford shit is pretty crazy. I think that they're going to make that work. And they're all like, I don't see anyone like trying to be too selfish. You know, like Ben Simmons is a pass addict. And so is Al Horford. I feel like he's like really selfless when it comes to basketball. And Tobias Harris isn't just out for self either, you know?
Yeah, just got a $170 million deal.
Right, yeah, right. So he's sharing the wealth, you know what I'm saying?
Biggie.
Yeah. So no, I like Philly. And who else is out there? They got obviously the Bucks. And who's like the third favorite?
In the East?
Yeah.
I mean, Brooklyn will win it all next year, in my opinion.
Next year, yeah.
But
this year,
third favorite in the East.
I still like him
now?
this year. Brooklyn probably has some of my favorite players in the league right now.
They got Kyrie.
I like Spencer a lot, and I love
Spencer's
Karras.
the man.
Those are probably like 3 of my top 10 favorite guards in the league. Yeah. I like how all of them play. Like
who are some of your favorite players overall?
Obviously James, Kemba. I like really shifty guards. That's like my thing. You know, like especially like shorter guys because
you probably like guys that mimic your game.
Exactly, yeah. Like give me hope. Like I like the smallest guys.
That's why big men don't sell as many jerseys.
Exactly, yeah. So I like really like shit. I like Damian Lillard a lot.
Yeah.
Like really shifty guards with like good mid range pull ups and shit. That's like my
7-footers aren't as relatable for us.
Yeah.
Under.
Even though KD does play like he's fucking 6 foot tall,
which is why KD's debatably the greatest in the world when he's healthy.
Right. Yeah. But I like Brooklyn. I can't wait to, and you know I like De'Aaron Fox a whole lot, and he's from Houston too.
I didn't know he was from Houston.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's the fastest player in a minute.
And running track, that's like, you know what I'm saying? I admire that. So
you respect it. What do you think the biggest thing you've learned from being around James is?
From being around James, man, is that man, like when it's time to like focus, it's time to focus. You know, like me and James had a lot of good times or whatever, but he literally will sit you down and be like, yo, like this is my plan right here, and he'll do it. You know, like, you know, I texted him fucking the day before the Garden game last year, and I was like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, you might have to drop 100, bro, in the Garden, because he had just did the fucking I feel like what game was before? I feel like he was on like a streak of like 40 points a game, or like 40, 45
some
points.
Kobe stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, bro, you might as well just drop 100, bro. You might as well just go for it. And he literally came out in that first quarter of the Garden, it was just jacking and making everything, bro. I was like, what the like these niggas really.
I remember I was
just
at that
puts
game
his mind
too.
in some shit. Yeah.
Adele and I were at that game together.
Oh,
it was
word?
so funny.
Yeah, man. Yeah, nah, that shit was amazing, bro. So,
what do you end up putting up? 59, 60?
60, yeah. I think he got to 60, yeah.
Crazy enough, when I was younger, I used to only go to like 4 or 5 Knicks games a year when I was lucky, because I lived in Connecticut too. And one of the games was Melo 62.
Yeah.
That was the craziest.
That's fire, yeah. I like Melo a lot too, man. I really hope everything works out for Melo. He's a good guy.
You think he should be in the league right now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, what the fuck? It's just, you know, I know
finding the spot.
His situation is so delicate, you know, that I know a lot of owners don't want to like deal with it or whatever. But Melo, man, I used to wear my fucking Syracuse Melo jersey, and fucking high school all the time.
Really?
Bro. Yeah, I was a huge Melo fan.
That was a fashion forward choice.
Yeah, or I guess shit, I didn't have anything else. I just wore that orange ass jersey all the time. I was a huge Melo fan, bro. Still am, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, New York legend.
Right.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame 100%. He's the
100%.
most successful Olympic basketball player of all
Ever.
time.
Yeah.
Gold medal wise.
Yeah, and he's just a dope hooper, man. Like, he's another one that's, you know, he's just like one of the ISO gods to ever play in the NBA. You know, like he can face up and score on anybody. So, I really like that about his game.
You talked about James, like, sitting down and locking in on something.
Mm-hmm.
He'll tell you exactly what he's going to do and then go out and do it?
Of course, yeah. Of course, man. That nigga, he's just that good offensively,
It's crazy.
And I don't like when people say he doesn't play defense because it's like, bro, so I got to drop 60-point triple-double. And what, you want me to have 6 steals on top of that and lock up
4
Kawhi
blocks?
Leonard? Yeah, it's like, yo.
Because he's going to be guarding the best player on the other team. So
and he does a good job
wow.
at that. It's just, obviously there's some players where it's just like, yo, like I got to take the ball up next time. Like, and he might look like he like slack off or whatever, but.
Do you have your own ways of, like, locking in on something when you know you have to focus on, like, a gig or
100%.
a club or something?
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
I have like the opposite of ADD for real. It's like if I tell myself I'm gonna do something, I can easily just be like, all right, this is the only thing I'm doing. That's why I'm such like a big video game kid and shit like that. Like I remember like when I first started playing FIFA and shit, I was trash. I was like super ass, and I was just like, yo, I'm about to get nice at this shit.
You locked in on your FIFA
And I just
game.
locked into my FIFA, and now I'm like fucking won like all the Division 1 championships, all that type of shit.
Really?
Hell yeah. So like when even with DJing, that was like a big thing. It was like, because I started out like hosting shit when I was in school, and
Like party type hosting or
just everything. I would host like clubs and shit. When I was too young, they used to take my ID like at the door so I couldn't drink and shit, and I would like be in the club like next to the DJ, like doing like host shit, shouting out people's birthdays, all that bullshit, whatever. And then at like when we'd have like concerts and shit come to town, I would be like the MC for the concert, be like, all right, like introduce like all the acts and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, like I want to DJ as well, like on top of this shit. So when I first started, I was terrible. I was just trash. Like I just thought it was way
When
easier.
you first started DJing?
Yeah, I was trash.
What do you think was the problem?
I just think naturally it's just like DJing just isn't as easy as people. Like, well, good DJing isn't as easy. Like with transitions and just knowing, like DJing for an hour and a half is hard enough. But even longer than that is even harder. But yeah, it was just something I just had to like sit down and just focus on. I just needed to get more music and just all that type of shit. So I just literally for like a good year, I stopped hosting shit and I just, sat down and just locked in and practiced for like 9 hours a day. Like literally probably like 9 hours a day until, I feel like I was good enough to DJ in public again. When I first started DJing, because everybody knew me already from like being like the host and like the fun guy or whatever. So when I started DJing and I was trash, it was like, oh, like Chase, he should just stick to DJing. I mean, stick to hosting. Like he's trash, like whatever. So I took a lot of that and then I just got better. And then, at least to this.
That's the real way to do anything.
Exactly.
Instead of like twerking and going viral and then having to quickly like race to master skill sets.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, when you get put on the spot and shit.
Giving yourself the time.
Yeah. I did the same thing with producing too. It was like when I got to a point where I felt like DJing was only going to take me like so far, I was like, the real shit is like putting out hit songs and, and touring that way and whatever. So I was like, DJing these clubs, I know how to do that, obviously. Like, I feel like I've mastered that. So, like, the end of last year, the beginning of this year, I probably took, like, a good 6 months off of, I was, like, no clubs until I put my first song out. So, I just sat down.
Really? You took 6 months off?
Mm-hmm.
This past year?
Probably, like, from November to, like, March. What is that? That's, like, 5 months.
Yeah, that's locking in.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Literally, yeah. No, I was like, I'm not even going to it. I'm not stepping foot in the club until, I can figure this out. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I just sat down and just made beats every day for 6 months until Mayday happened for real. So, and I needed all those beats. It's not like Mayday was like a thing. It was like, we were in a session, me, Thug, and Shaq were on the session, and it's not like I was like, yo, I have this song called Mayday. I want you to rap on it. It was like, all right, here's a list of like every beat I've ever made. So hopefully you like one of these shits and we can make a song. So
then did you play them through and they picked that one?
Yeah, it's actually a crazy story. I played like mad beats and my computer like shut down. It did like an automatic software update because obviously being such a head ass, I like all my shit to update like as soon as it can. So like in the middle of me playing beats, my fucking computer shuts down.
So do you have it set to automatically update when the updates come out?
Yeah, and
Brutal.
so that most producers use FL, which is it's on Macs now, but it's mostly primarily for PCs and shit.
Gotcha.
So I don't just use a PC, so I don't really know like all the settings and all that type of shit in there like I would a MacBook. So when I'm playing the beats, I obviously would have turned the shit off if I knew that it would just because on the MacBook it'll be like remind me later or whatever.
Yep.
PC it didn't
snooze.
do. Yeah. On the PC it's just like I'm ready to update. So I'm playing the beat and my shit just goes black. I'm just like, oh fuck. And so I'm about to leave. Like it's probably like 3 hours later. I'm like, like my shit was still updating.
What time in the morning was this?
It's probably like 5:30 in the morning. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just get out of here. Like my day is over. Like I'm the worst producer ever. Like my computer fucking shut down in front of everybody and all that type of shit. So I'm about to leave, and Thug's like, he's like, nah, where you going? Like he's like, let me know what you want me to do. Yeah. I was like, all right. So my shit had just finished. Got back to 100%. Loaded it back up. The next beat I played was the Mayday beat. So I was like, all right, good thing I stayed here. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like if I didn't have all those beats, that would have never happened. So you can't just go in there with like one idea and just kind of expecting it to work. So
super interesting. Did you know that you wanted that combo of Sheck and Thug?
Not at all. Nah, that was Thug's idea, 100%.
Was Sheck in the room then?
Yeah. So while Thug was recording his verse, Sheck walked in, and then we needed like an intro, and then Thug was like, "Yo, you got something?" And then Sheck like went in and just like he knocked that shit out in like 15 minutes. I could tell he
crazy one, man.
Yeah, I could tell he knew exactly what he wanted to say. Yeah, I really love that song, man. I feel like it's gonna have like a second wind of energy pretty
awesome.
soon. Yeah, that song's amazing.
We got to get it on TikTok.
Exactly. Yeah, word for real. Yeah, that's a high energy song.
It's all about the hooks,
right?
And beat drops. That's 100%
exactly.
Of the battle.
And maybe it's a huge beat drop on that shit. So.
Huge.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit coming too though. There's a lot of fire new shit I got. So
for sure. So how did you from hosting these shows where you grew up or went to college rather, to starting to actually DJ? At what point did you start working with Trav?
I was already Trav would like send me music while I was in school, because Trav was still back in Texas. He was in school too, so he would.
Did you go to college?
Yeah. Trav went to UT, and he was there just like making beats. Like literally, he's locked in. He's locked in his own right, just doing fucking. Working on music literally every day. So he like make shit, put on SoundCloud or whatever, or just send me shit, and I would like play it at house parties or like whatever the fuck. So it never was like really
funny.
Yeah, because I've known him for so long. It wasn't like a musical relationship. It's
right.
Definitely
like a friendship.
Yeah, it's like our moms are like mad cool. It's like some real deep shit. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So fucking when it came time to do shows, it wasn't like yo, like, am I your DJ? It was kind of like, yo, we got a show. Like, what are we going to do type of shit. Yeah, so it just kind of happened. And, towards the end of my college career or whatever, my college tenure or whatever the fuck you want to call it, I ended up dropping out because, like, some money shit or whatever.
Gotcha.
And I had to move up to Jersey where my grandmother used to stay. And Trav used to come up, and we'd be, like, editing music videos in there and all type of shit, whatever. And then, it just kind of happened from there. Like, as soon as I dropped out, I feel like shit started going up musically, so.
That's awesome.
Out. Yeah, it was definitely time for me to go, so I'm glad it worked out how it did.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I think it's cool. Like, I think people knew kind of the scale that it picked up afterwards. Most people don't think about, like, one of my favorite visuals is like this iceberg where, like the Titanic iceberg, where underneath the water is like all the work you did before.
Exactly,
and then above is like the dude
little
juggling or like the peak,
The little peak you get to see,
But yeah, so I think the documentary that just came out, it was like a really good visual. Tyler like killed it.
No, he
really,
murdered that
really
shit.
Really good visual of what kind of that was, but having been like the part of it, it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's a lot more than that too. Like that was only like the last like 2.5 years of footage, but the shit we used to have to go through in like 2013 and shit was not dope. So
what kind of stuff?
Man, just it wasn't always like tour buses and
of course
and everybody around. Used to be just me and him like flying around, just doing shows like the two of us and shit. So it was a lot more stressful, a lot less comfortable. But I always knew it was gonna get to this point, so I wasn't just tripping. I always knew.
That's the best.
Yeah, it was like you got to go through. I'd rather do it, and like rather than us just like race to have like a year's worth of success and then just be over. Like you got to.
Which happens to a lot of the people,
right? Especially nowadays, because shit like shit just goes viral and shit so fast. It's like you're not ready for it. So
there's that expectation level of like you put out a hit, and
right?
It's like
the song's bigger than
you're 15 years old.
Yeah,
what the. Like,
don't say anything stupid on Twitter. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is your new life now.
Or even now, like the version of that is don't have said anything stupid because they'll go back and look at your tweets from 3 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like you got to throw these kids into like just being a celebrity. It's pretty crazy.
What advice would you give for either younger DJs out there or younger artists to just make their move and do it in their own way?
Just be genuine and
no gimmicks.
Yeah, right. I mean, like I said, if it's not just because it's a gimmick to me, don't mean it's a gimmick to everybody. But yeah, just be genuine, man, and fucking what was I about to say? You gotta be stubborn for real. You know, like just go with your move. You know what I'm saying? Like word to the homie Big Tony, man. Like you really just gotta stick with your guns for as long as you think it's worth to take. You know, like if you say you're like making a move or whatever and it doesn't work out after like the past year and you want to change it up, you know, like maybe if you stuck with it for a little bit longer, like you'll never know. So my whole thing has always been like to just stick with your shit. You know?
I like that a lot.
And save your money. That's a big thing too.
That's a big one too. If you could have dinner with 3 people, living or dead, who would you want to invite to your dinner?
Muhammad Ali. Let's see. Muhammad Ali, probably Jackie Robinson, and
it's a tricky one.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, and probably I don't know the third one. Definitely those two though. I've thought about that a couple times actually. Definitely those two.
For me, I'd probably put, as far as living, I would definitely put Obama on there, 100%. LeBron would have to be on there.
Word.
And third one's tricky.
Yeah.
I don't want to exclude all these goats.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah, there's so many and shit. You know what would be cool? I don't know how well his English probably is, but Pele would be cool to talk to.
That would be cool.
That would be tight.
Trying to think, is Pele? I don't think Pele's up on the wall. But
that dude's always been interesting to me, man.
I don't know that much about him.
Yeah.
I just know how much of a legend he was.
He's just a flashy ass, raw ass soccer player. Like he's just tight.
He's Do you
like
follow
his own
soccer?
drama. Look at Ben Cullen. Yeah, dude. Not as much as like I said, like when I was locked in on FIFA and shit. Not as much as I used to, but I used to be a really, really big soccer fan. Just of like, I didn't have like a team just because USA soccer's so bad and shit.
So bad. Although shout out NYCFC as a playoff game.
Right. Yeah. I went to a couple of games last year. I was like really cool with a couple of guys on from the organization, not the actual players, but just like from cool. NYCFC. So I went to a couple of games last year. I actually went to the game against the Atlanta FC, right?
Probably.
Yeah. And they ended up winning it all.
They're not very creative with their names.
Yeah, it's just FC. Yeah. But yeah, I went to the game against them last year, and Atlanta ended up winning it all. So. At least they lost to them. It's always a better feeling knowing that you lost to the champion.
Yeah. I'd like to see Zlatan play.
And the LA Galaxy, that shit's fire. I feel like that's what's going to happen in the near future is just all like the older European players are just going to come here and just get money and just like destroy everyone. Like I know Wayne Rooney played for a little bit.
Like if you're just beginning to exit the prime of your career, come here right away.
Right, exactly.
Like you will make the most money here. You'll dominate. You'll score 4 goals a game.
And it's good for our league too. It's definitely a win-win. You know, I want to see a lot of people like even. Like a lot of like the German players, I think are getting to like that point where they should just come over and just play.
I think like the thing about American sports, I think the NBA is like beginning to get on this level, although the China stuff doesn't help.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not at all. That's fucked up.
It's super interesting how big soccer is.
Yeah.
People don't.
American people will never understand it.
Never.
Yeah.
You take Messi and you put him in any city in the world.
Right. Yeah. He's a rock
star.
He's
an A-list celebrity.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
You could take the biggest football player in the world. You could take Odell. Maybe not Odell because he's a Nike guy. Like they put him on billboards everywhere. But like Saquon,
like a Christian McCaffrey or something like that.
Anybody like that. Even like Aaron Rodgers. Like these guys, you put them in other countries and they're normal people.
Right. It's crazy.
LeBron. There are only a handful of NBA guys that aren't that. There are no NHL guys.
Right.
You could literally take Wayne Gretzky and put him in any country in the world. I don't think he's a celebrity.
Not at all.
You could put him in most like restaurants in New York and people won't realize.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Most baseball players too. Like I cannot think who. Mike? I think you could stick Mike Trout
literally
anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
and nobody recognizes him.
Bryce Harper, all those dudes.
That's pretty insane.
This fucking guy.
We've just been talking about our fantasy basketball team. I was thinking about making a trade proposal live on the show.
To this guy?
To you.
Oh, okay.
I've already
You've already raped his pockets.
In retrospect, so
no, I wasn't a raping, but it was. I don't know.
In retrospect, it might have been, but at the time, it was not intended to be.
What, yesterday? What the fuck? With the league, we drafted like 3 days ago.
We did draft a couple days ago.
Yeah.
The West Coast is the worst coast for delaying our draft. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
You're confident in your team, though.
I like my team. I don't make a lot of trades. I like to see shit like actually, because I like the satisfaction of knowing like I actually picked all these dudes, you know. But if I'm losing,
that can play to your own detriment.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
if you stick with those guys throughout the entire season,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and then only at the end of the season do you realize that you should have traded them, but their stock isn't what it was.
Right. But last year it worked, so that's why I was like, I'm not making any moves.
What did you finish last year?
It was like 3rd or 4th. I remember I lost to him in like the fucking semifinals or some shit.
Streaming.
Because of streaming, man. Son of a bitch. Yeah. But no, I think my team will be all right. I really like Siakam. And I want to see what Darius Garland's going to do. I'm excited to see him. I think he's going to develop to be one of my favorite players.
You said you're into Tyler Hero out of the rookie class. Do you believe the hype on Zion at all?
Yeah, I do. Man, it's crazy that so I was watching whatever show this morning and they were talking about how this 6 to 8 week thing isn't necessarily so much of his actual knee, but it's just like conditioning him for the rest of his career. Like for the next 6 to 8 weeks, he might just really just be losing weight, which is crazy. Like we've really never heard of anything like that before. It's like you're physically just too unique to play for the league right now, which is crazy. So, but no, I think when he actually gets in rhythm and these injuries get out of the way, I think he's going to be a beast. Because like, who's really getting in his way when it comes to like loose balls and like offensive rebounds?
I think it's less about people getting in his way. I watched a short video on YouTube about just him in general and his body type and the way he walks. Like most people walk like 2 feet like that. Yeah. He walks like that. Some people walk like that.
Yeah, he got a lot of.
He's got a. Yeah. So in college and at the high school level, you can play like that, and it's fine. You know, because you're so much more athletic. If you're Zion and you're playing against kids that look like me, you know, it's very different from playing against people that look like LeBron.
Right.
You know, so being able to do that at different levels is super key here. But like him playing the same way with, you know, his feet facing and his legs facing inwards on that or outwards, he's much more injury prone at the higher level. So it's also about like conditioning him to have the proper footwork so that it doesn't, because nobody's stopping him. Nobody's getting in his way.
Right.
I actually had a conversation the other day about how much money it would make Zion Williamson if he dunked on LeBron.
Oh, word! And just that one single play would just go crazy.
Play. The number we came to was $25 million.
Oh shit! I don't think that's ever gonna happen, man. I don't think LeBron's even gonna go for that.
He's too smart.
Yeah, LeBron
he would see it coming.
Yeah,
business
exactly,
executive mind that he has. Duck out of the way.
Right.
And he's going up the court. Like he's already halfway up the court before Zion finishes the dunk.
Right. Honestly, I think there's a lot of dudes that are thinking, like, obviously they don't have like the profiles of LeBron, but I think there's a lot of dudes that are thinking like, if I see Zion, that's not gonna be me on the poster, you know. So I think a lot of dudes are just gonna be like, let him have it. Like, why would you even do that? You're gonna block Zion?
Never.
You know what's gonna happen? I think like Jaren Allen is gonna catch it.
I was just gonna say
he's gonna catch a lot of posters
last year.
Yeah, I think
it was bold.
Which is bold. That's what I'm saying. He might get dunked on by Zion like 14 times, but once he's gonna get. At the end of the day, and like break his wrist in half.
Well, that would be unfortunate. We're hoping not for that.
Not for that.
But you have to respect a guy that will go up and try to block LeBron.
Right.
I think he gained 50,000 Instagram followers when that happened.
Jared Allen?
Jared Allen.
Yeah, that's tight, man.
It's so funny how these like metrics work in correlation to real world events.
That's like on 2K, like when you do like a highlight play and like the little shit goes to the crowd and it's like plus 2,000. Like that's real shit. I'm sure they consulted somebody.
Super real.
Word.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's super interesting.
Yeah.
So you have the Houston Rockets against the Philadelphia 76ers this year. The Houston Rockets winning.
Yep. In 7.
In 7?
Yeah.
Who do you think they play in the Western Conference Finals? Clippers or Lakers? Clippers. After last night, are you locked in on that, or did you think that beforehand?
You know what? I think the Lakers aren't done making moves yet, so we'll see.
Who else are they going to go out and get, though?
It's the Lakers, man. I can't even answer that, but it's the Lakers. We all thought this AD shit was going to happen like 3 years from now, and look where the fuck he is. He's on the team. So,
what fashion brands nowadays are you either most interested in like seeing their progression, or do you rock most frequently and like supporting?
This shit a lot. I wear a Cactus plant flea market a lot. I'm always looking for like a lot of old Stussy.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm always like looking for old Stussy shit.
Where do you find the majority of your stuff?
Just like flea market type of shit, like the Round Twos of the world, fucking, even just like online and Grailed. No, I do all that.
Grailed is my favorite.
All that shit. You know, StockX sells like brand new shit now, so you can get a lot of shit there. I like Noah a lot. That brand Noah, I like them a lot too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm still just a big Supreme guy. Like I don't give a fuck. Like that shit's always gonna be cool to me. I love Supreme. I love everything they fucking do. So.
Why do you think some people don't find Supreme cool?
Because other people,
how it faded.
Because one person said Supreme wasn't cool, and then it was cool to say that Supreme wasn't cool. But I fucking love Supreme. I feel like especially when it comes to like being like a hype beast, it's like, am I hype for wearing a brand that's been around since 1993, or are you hype for wearing a brand that you found out about last week?
Because I think they're like over the past couple of years, it's just totally unnecessary negative connotation towards like the Supremes and the Bapes and like all these old legendary brands. I think some of it also stems from, you know, where it like originated, what it is now, like it was a skateboard brand, and now it's like 100,000 t-shirts produced per
I get that.
t-shirt of fruit.
But they're still just so good at it. Like even like
they're so
collabs,
good at it.
Like they're still putting out shit like Sade tees and like shit that no one else can do. It's like you can't hate on that. Like it's not like they're just putting together like random ass like graphic tees with bullshit on them. Like they're really doing.
That's kind of what Bape does.
Yeah, like Bape is different. Like I'll wear old Bape, but when it comes to new Bape, like even Nigo said it himself, I'm sure it has probably to do because he doesn't fucking own this shit anymore. But it's just like like these designs are old. He's like, these designs are old. He's like, I don't get why y'all are still wearing this shit. So
yeah, I like those old shoes. I was looking at Grailed recently.
Yeah, of course.
The problem with those Bapestas are it's all cracked all over.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's the problem with a lot of old shoes. It's just that's just gonna happen. So
yeah,
hopefully they don't just bust while you're like in public or something. But yeah, no, I always love Supreme though. Always.
You just said you got a tattoo last night.
Yeah, I did.
How did it go?
It was amazing. It took like 2.5 hours though. It took a lot longer than I thought it would. But it definitely got me back in the swing of getting tattoos. So I'll probably get another one like this weekend.
How old were you when you got your first tattoo?
I was old. I was like, well, old compared to most people. I was like 22.
Old.
Aging. Yeah.
You know,
most kids are like, yeah, I got this bullshit on my fucking back when I was 16. I didn't get anything like that. My mom would have beat my ass.
Yeah, it's funny. I've joked a couple of times about getting tattoos, but it's always like the way it was told to me through like family friends whenever I joked about it or whatever.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't look the best on me first and foremost, but second, if you have an idea and a year later you still like it, like cool.
Then go ahead. Yeah, so with me, I'm just like I have like an obsessive like mindset. Like when I do something, it's like I said, like I just like lock in. I just like get addicted to it, whatever. So I didn't think it was gonna be like I didn't think it was gonna turn into like hands and fingers and shit. But once I started, I was like, I might as well just go for it now. You know, like I don't think I give off that vibe of just like being a fucking like, you know what I'm saying, like some terroristic type of fucking crazy dude. You know, I feel like it's like, oh, like he has tattoos on his hands. Like,
well, especially because you're
he's
DJ
a chill,
and
nice
you work
guy.
in music.
Yeah, it's like, you know, but I feel like some people have that like, yo, like this nigga might kill me. He got so many tattoos.
You think so?
Some people of course have that, like, you know, you see some people walking down the street, they got a little too many tattoos, you're gonna be like, yo, this nigga's dangerous. But I feel like me, you know, I'll be chilling.
Is that a lion on your hand?
It is, yeah. I'm not like a leader. I just, my mom was like, you should get, she's like super biblical.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be, you know, like the Lion of Judah. It's like, you know, I try to keep things like somewhat sentimental. The shit I got last night though was not. I just wanted to get a tattoo.
What'd you get?
It's like the skeleton of a T-Rex. Maybe I was like subconsciously excited about Pascal Siakam being on my team.
Perhaps.
And I got a dinosaur tatted on my
You got a tattoo in his honor.
Word. Thank you for giving me 79 points, bro. I got it tatted on my fucking leg. That was tight.
From one night in a full season-long fantasy league.
Give a tattoo for everyone on my roster this year.
Every single person that scores above 78 fantasy points gets a tattoo.
Yeah, 70 is the limit. So if you're on my fantasy team and you give me more than 70 fantasy points, I'll get a tattoo in respect for you, bro. So
I like that. Do you have a tattoo that's most significant?
Most significant is probably my fingers. My fingers are when I was born and then when my parents were born. Both my parents were born in the same year in 1960. Not to make them sound old, but and then I got my granddad's name on my fingers too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Rockwood. I think Rockwood's the coolest name ever. That's his first name.
That's sick.
Rockwood Benjamin. It's like, yo, it's the fire's name. So I had to get it tatted. And he's my last grandparent. So
That's awesome.
He's
That
still
would be
kicking.
a crazy rap name.
Rockwood Benjamin? Yo, tell me about it. That nigga is tight. That nigga's super tight.
Did you get any of the music interest from anyone in your family?
My dad used to always play like cool shit. Everyone in my family has good ears. That's what I noticed that later in my life. That I feel like I probably like took it for granted. Like everyone should be listening to this when I was younger. But my brother he put me on to so much music that I didn't realize that everyone else wasn't listening to. Like I used to think that music was like kind of like a mandatory thing. You know, it was like, all right.
Right.
Like when my brother put me on the shit, I was like, oh, this is what everybody's listening to. When
You have an older brother?
Yeah. When in actuality, like it's not. It's like he's putting me on to some shit that no one else is listening to. But I just thought that everyone was, you know? So he was like really big on like shit with good beats. Like he was always like into like Timberland and like beat club shit and all of that. Like he was always putting me on to some shit with like some fire ass beat. And my dad was super big on like 80s rap and like DJ Cool and Biz Marquee and all them type of niggas. And my mom was like really big into like more like the jazzy dudes like Al Jarreau and like shit like that. So I kind of always had like a big ass musical, you know, fucking palette. And I didn't realize until like I got older, I was like, oh, that's why I like all this weird shit. It's because of them, you know? So.
Do you ever take some of that stuff that you grew up listening to and try to see how you can slide it into some of the stuff?
Yeah, my mom texts me shit she thinks I should sample all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's fire. I haven't even.
Little producer?
You know, seriously.
Producer
She's like,
vibes.
yo, she be like, I'm trying to she always be like, yo, I'm trying to tell you, like, this is it. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
She's saying this is the one.
Word, all the time.
Is
She's
she
like,
ever
yo.
right?
For sure. Definitely. Should be. There's some times where.
Has she
my
gotten
dad, too.
producer credits on anything?
Not yet. She will, though. She has to.
There you go.
Yeah, she has to. She puts me on to a lot of shit. My dad is like the super hip one. He puts me on to like shit that dropped yesterday. He's like, you ain't heard this shit yet, nigga. Like, this shit hard. I'm like, bro, get your ass off of the fucking complex and go to work, man. The fuck.
That's hilarious.
Word.
Last question here. Do you like social media?
Yeah, I like it. I'm not the best at it. I'm not the most like enthusiastic about it, but I like it though. I think it's tight because I'm not the most. Like, when you see me, I'm not the one that's, like, all in everybody's face. Like, I'm not, like, the most social, like, in person. I'm just, I don't know. God didn't make me that way. I'm, like, just not the bubbliest guy. So, social media gives everybody a kind of opportunity to just kind of show themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of shit that I would post on social media and just be like, yo, like, for everyone wondering, like, it's right here. Like, I don't have to, like, go and just fucking, you know,
Mass
like, parade
text.
around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, no, I like it a lot though. And obviously I'm checking this shit like every fucking minute. I'd be an idiot to be like, nah, fuck Instagram when I'm like constantly refreshing. You know, it's very necessary.
Appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. It's like it's fucked up a lot of shit when it comes to like people and like communication and shit. But it's also brought a lot of people together that would never have.
I
So,
agree.
Social media is tight, man.
Yeah. I think
These
it's
fucking little phones are works of art.
ridiculous. I think one of the scariest things though in the world is, I don't know if you've ever done it, but you look at your screen time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I've not. I have it, so it tells me like every week.
If I was a movie director, I would make a horror movie on screen time.
That's like some Black Mirror shit.
iPhones.
That's some Black Mirror shit for real.
Black Mirror is a great show.
That's my shit, man. Some Twilight Zone type of shit.
Last question.
Yeah.
3 recommendations about anything for people listening. Restaurants they should go to, video games they should play, teams they should support, what songs they should listen to apart from Mayday and your own.
Shit. Yeah, definitely listen to Mayday, dude. That's a fucking big tune. You should eat at. Where should you eat at? Where have I been eating?
Give somewhere in Houston.
Yeah, you should eat Torchy's Tacos. You should definitely do that. I feel like people kind of know that though. Well, yeah, you should eat that. You should. Let's see. You should ride your bike more, if you're able.
Great tip.
Definitely go ride your bike more. Be outside. And you should. I'm gonna say something you should watch. You should watch. You know what? There's this new interesting thing on Netflix called The Ghosts of Sugarland. And I'm from Sugarland. That's like my actual, like, on my ID and shit. And I guess it's about this dude that accidentally joined ISIS. Like, it's totally on accident. Yeah,
It's a true story.
It's a true story. Yeah, it's like he's like getting interviewed like in like front of the fucking grocery store that I used to walk to every day. And he went overseas to be like a kindergarten teacher, like to teach kids over like abroad or whatever. And he accidentally ended up joining ISIS. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story.
Whoa.
So yeah, all y'all niggas should watch that shit. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, find him at OG Chase B, right?
That's a big
That's
fact.
the one?
On like everything. So don't think I'm like, yeah, just type that in.
On everything. Chase B on
SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, all that shit.
Catch him. And send him a DM of what your favorite thing you picked up from this podcast was.
Yeah, and send me a DM asking for shoes. I just love that. Send me a DM asking for any pair of shoes you want.
Don't do that. My man.
Appreciate it, bud.
Appreciate you coming on. This is fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time. Peace.